We have called upon the Most High Elohim. Now we preach the gospel of heaven. That is what is happening. I told you 2020. They didn't believe me. We shocked them. As we were shocked yesterday when we were looking at a frozen fish. They were moving the mouth of that animal. Telling you is a presidential broadcast. And as gullible and as idiotic as some of you are, you bought into their nonsense. One thing that I find astonishing is there was a girl. I keep mentioning her every day because the idiocy of such people is what has kept us down for very many years. And I want to address the Igbo Efulefus masquerading themselves. They pull down their boxer shorts in the north. Their fellow men will ransom them and give them some money and some contracts. They now become intellectuals. And after a while, they give them gutter to manage, drainage. Idiots. And to those of us, they claim they're intellectuals. Idiots. They're the ones now writing. Don't destroy what is in our land. And I keep asking them, can you tell me that one thing is in our land that is not worth destroying? But the Fulani can come to our land and destroy lives. You know, when I tell you that these idiots, they are not Igbo, you don't understand me. When I say they are not Biafran, you don't understand me. When I say that they do not have the core values of Oduduwa or Yoruba land in them, you don't understand what I'm saying. Now let me explain it to you. Oh dear. Are you sure this is what I hear some of them writing all this nonsense? And we will catch all of you. We will get you. Because the amount of hatred we have in the amount of hatred we have in us, that is what is happening in Anambra. The Nigeria, the only thing that Nigeria has been able to teach us is to hate and to despise. Now that hate that we've been harboring for years is now about to boil out in the open. And everybody will be affected. Everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Look at all the nonsense they are writing from Ohanese and Diatron and Dioshi. All of them from top to bottom. Writing everywhere, writing their rubbish, trying to please because they are unimaginary masters. Janjaweed is now calling them. What are you doing? You are there. I gave you a contract. I thought you are the Igbo leader. I thought you control people on the ground. What now are you doing? What is happening? Do something. They said, let me try. Instead of addressing the issues, they start to write gossip. Intellectual. You are selling melon. Now calling you on WhatsApp, as if that these people are foolish. Do you seriously think we have regard for all this nonsense you're writing? Now let me tell you why you are not Igbo. Some of you idiots in Abuja are writing rubbish, and a few of you in Enugu, you're not Igbo. Now you are complaining that the edifice, the structure that housed the murderers of your brothers and your sisters at all in 2016. You are telling me that they are assets. Now let me remind you why I said some of you are not Igbo. There is a saying, there is a name we give to our children. It is called Ndubuisi. Ndubuisi means that life is more important than any other thing on this earth. Life. A human life is more important than the Eiffel Tower. In the olden days, if you were in the village, anything can be paid to ransom the life of a human being. Ma Nintendo. Ndo isi. Ndo life is the greatest of all. Not an empty, burnt down police station. Now, all of you writing all this nonsense from Abuja, you people can no longer come home. I swear to God Almighty in heaven, no amount of begging, because you people are evil. When they were slaughtering people at all, your own brothers, your own sisters, your own children, did you write as vociferously and persistently as you're writing now that the building that was housing the murderers are in flames? A simple question. When they were killing us at all in 2016, how many letters did you write? How many phone calls did you make? Did you ask the army to step back? Did you ask the police to step back? No, you did not. You were in Abuja, in a hotel. Your face on the pillow. Now what do you need? Your fellow man. And now, every blessed minute you're writing, you're making phone calls, do something, stop this, stop. And I keep asking them, all these assets, after the whole nonsense about Yoruba assets, they have brought their nonsense about Igbo assets. And I keep asking, what are those assets? The asset is a police building. Oh. Now it occurred to me. Let me tell you why I said that they can no longer come home. Do you know that in the course of bringing down these houses of hell called police stations in our land, do you know the documents we have discovered? Do you know that the checkpoints that they have on our roads, that Igbo politicians have share in it? That is why they don't want them to be dismantled. Do you know that we have found documents detailing that Igbo politicians in Abuja, they are the people making money from roadblocks in our land? How many police remember they share the money with the police? Why do you think the youth are angry and burning down the police station? The politicians, they are benefiting from the suffering of their own people. They live in their mansions in Abuja. And if you don't pay 50 naira, they shoot you and you die. Your own fellow brother, those that call themselves leaders, connived with an enemy that they themselves know hates you very, very badly. Not only have they made your life impossible, not only the fact that we are the ones producing the oil and gas, they keep shouting Niger Delta, talking rubbish. The oil comes from our land, the whole of Biafra, everywhere, from Anambra all the way to Akwa Ibom, to Cross River, everywhere is oil and gas. But because the Atlantic Ocean is not close to Anambra State, they have to pipe the oil and gas to our coast that they name Niger Delta. Claiming oil of Niger Delta, oil of Niger Delta. Oil. People are talking. I don't know how to educate them for them to have sense. We have been denied the same oil and gas we have. Oh, listen, we don't have access to it. There is no refinery, no employment for our people. The head office of Shell is somewhere in Lagos, or now in Abuja, only heaven knows. They don't employ the people that the oil is coming from their land. No! And when you talk, they say, shut up. Little did we know that having denied us all these opportunities, we keep struggling, traveling abroad, doing everything, selling our land. Some people sell the only piece of land they have because in our culture, every male child is entitled to a piece of land. It's our culture. That is why to sell village land is not good. Ancestral land. Every child, if we keep giving birth to boys for the next 5 million years, each and every of that child, male child born, is entitled to a piece of land. When you become a man, you get married, you go to your father and you say, please, father, show me where to build a house. And they show you. It's a right. It is it's automatic. You must show them where to build a house. Even if they gave birth to you and your mom took you to Kafanchan and you stayed there for 40 years, any day you come back, even if your father is not alive, your uncles must show you where to build a house in a just and honorable society. Do you know what they are saying now? Hey, all these assets you're destroying. Somebody called me from Abuja, said, oh, but you people are destroying our assets. And I asked him, please, what are those assets you are destroying? He said, police station at Elkusigo. Police station. Oh, you mean the same people that extort money from us in front of their police station with their checkpoint, clear well, park well, show me your inner light, outside light, show me your engine oil. In fact, show me the receipt of this engine oil. And if you say no, they shoot you and you die. And we will go on Twitter and tweet, it's not good, stop this brutality. There was a death today at Ekusigo, the police shot somebody and nothing happened. And after 1 or 2 years, or no, after 4 hours, we forget that person. In a society where life is number one. I don't blame them. Some of them go and do rituals with their parents. So they have no empathy and they have no feelings. They are evil. He said police station. I said police station. He said yes. I said okay. No wonder you people are benefiting from the punishment being inflicted on your people by Nigeria police. And I said, by the way, during the massacre, what did you do? He said, oh, I was concerned about what was going on, but I didn't know what to do. Okay, you didn't know what to do when the people were being killed, but now you know what to do when police stations are going down. And I said to him, you don't know how prepared we are. You have no idea, I swear to God in heaven. I said something to him that I will say to all of them. These people are angry. You want me to stop them. If I call them and say, okay, stop bringing down police stations, and they say to me, okay, I will stop, but can you bring back my brother you killed at Mpo? What would I say to that person? This is a very simple question. Why is it that now you want to stop the destruction of police stations, but whereas when we were being killed at Mpo in 2016, you did nothing. You did absolutely nothing. Now you want to do something. That means you hate your people. You are a beneficiary of a regime that is so evil and wicked that it is repulsive, even to people who are not Nigerians. They despise Nigeria and what is happening in it. Now you understand, don't you? Now all of you can understand. Now Facebook can understand our anger. Now everybody can tell the reason why these young people are angry and bitter. Instead of you to say, we understand why you're angry, what can we do to stop it? Your concern is, oh, don't destroy police station. Don't destroy police station. Oh, please don't. Have you been able to assuage my anger? The answer is no. The same thing you do. So after 1 week now, we forget those you killed at Lekki Tollgate. Is that what you think? We are now in this very campaign. Nobody will be forgotten. And let me tell you something. When you talk about compensation, you are going to compensate every family from 1960. They don't know what they're in for. From 1960, there is going to be a register of all those who died at the hands of the Nigerian Army and police. It's called compensation, and I will explain to you where this principle came from. You are going to pay every family from 1960. Police brutality, even the family of Delegiwa, you are going to compensate them in such a way that you will no longer look for journalists to kill. After the death of Delegiwa, that was when they bought over every editor. From that day, journalism in Nigeria became trash. Everybody became afraid. I don't want to die like Delegiwa. I have 2 children, 5 children, 6 children. Who will train them? Did you know why you pay compensation when you do wrong? It's not just as a recompense for the, loss of life or property or material or whatever it is. It is so that you won't do it next time. Next, had Nigeria been paying compensation to those killed by the army and police since 1960, there would be no SARS. Now, because you have failed to do your job, our children are now angry. And we are saying to you, bring that thing that you have. Remember what I said in the year 2012, when we relaunched Radio Biafra. I said, somebody asked me, are you sure this Biafra will come? It's a very famous quote now. What did I say to you? They will kill us. We will kill them. In the end, Biafra will come. Was that not what I said? Those of you that can remember. You are in Janjaweed North. You are the after Hajia. After Al-Haji must have dealing with Hajia. You are a man, a grown-up man with title, with Ishago. You are waiting in a hotel for a man. Because you want to be rich. Because you want to make money. And after using you the way they use their cattle, you come back and you begin to behave like their cattle. Like Nama. You are concerned about a police station rather than the lives of your people that were lost at all. Has there been any compensation? No. Any public inquiry? No. Because all of you in Abuja are having fun. Your children are abroad, they are studying and life is good. You have a mansion in the village. When you come back during Christmas, you give them one cup of rice, one cup of beans. They hail you, but your own kids are abroad and you're having fun. And 3rd of January, you go back to Abuja and start doing a meeting from the Igbo meeting in Abuja. Every year they are strategizing how we can make land, but everywhere you meet them all over the world, the same rubbish. That's just and nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. Let me tell you one thing that you don't know. Rather than Biafra not to come, we will all die. Go and tell Britain that's what I said. Instead of Biafra not to come, I don't want to give you timeline, but by the sacrifices we're about to make now, you will understand how fun, how insane. We are mad, insane. So all this your nonsense can never wash. It can never wash. Try anything. I told them, you see, we are nothing. Try everything in your powers in this world. You have all the billions. You have all the gossipers. You have all the traitors and the sabo. You people are not up to not to 101% of our population. Now you understand that. Do you see the madness you're experiencing now all across Nigeria? That madness is also abroad now. We have activated our volunteers abroad. If you think what happened in Germany was too much, watch what is going to happen from now onwards. Do you know the maximum for life sentence abroad is 15 years? And every year is 9 months. And if you are of good behavior, you will come out maybe after 4 years. Go and ask. Once you come abroad, your flesh will be torn from your body. And our hands will tear your flesh from your body. That the future generation may learn. You people are evil. You people are wicked. You are terrible. You are a leader. I'm a leader. I'm an evil leader. Stop that thing you're doing in Anambra. But when police stopped us at the checkpoint, extorting money from us, what did he do? It's a simple question. Now, do you understand why we are destroying the police stations? Why the youths are so angry that they are descending on police stations? Do you understand why? How many families did you visit after Mpoa massacre? Okay, you ordered the army to go to National High School in Ungwa land, where you come from, to kill Ungwa people in Ungwa land. Did you go to any of their families? Did you say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it? When they came to my house to kill me, and I miraculously, due to the bravery of our men, I survived it. What did Okezie do? My father owns the land upon which the government house of Umuahia sits, of Abia State. Ojukwu Bonka is at Obunishiokwe. That was how I knew that Biafra will come from Isiama Forugu. Do you understand that? That was why I named my company in England Alpha Phoenix. Phoenix was the bird that rose from the ashes. And one day I thought to myself, perhaps God is sending us a message. If Biafra can end in my father's compound, Biafra will also rise from my father's compound. Ojukwu went to Ivory Coast from my compound. If you don't know, it's called Afara. I checked the map. It is by Afara, the name of my village. And now I want to shock you. In heaven, the angels worship God using the oldest language known to man, which is Igbo language. It is the language of heaven. You'll be surprised today. Do you know, I don't want to, maybe let me go ahead. Do you know, who can tell me, just write it on Facebook. Who can tell me how the angels, how they greet Elohim in heaven? Do you know what they said to him? Do you know how God is worshipped in heaven? I don't know if they know it. Can they tell me? It is not said, that's not what they say. Can somebody tell me what the angels say when they are before the throne of grace of the Almighty? What did they say? Not he say, not at all. You don't even know. They say, Mama, the Regichinek. Mama. And you know the funniest thing? In Afaruku, where I come from, that is how you greet people. You say, Mama. Are you aware of that? We are the only people with the greeting accepted the whole of Biafra wide. The same greeting that angels offer God in heaven. That's all they say, nothing. Because God do not eat food, it's only praise and adoration. Nothing more. When we say we are born for this, some of you don't know where we are coming from. You don't know. When I was born, what did my birth certificate read? Did it read Nigeria? Oh, they are these people. My birth certificate had Biafra on it. and it has not been typed over. There is no text on top of it after 1970 to type Nigeria on it. It is still Biafra. Now you understand how mad we are about this Biafra. Some of you don't know. Those of you that listened to me in the year 2013, I was preaching this very gospel of heaven. And I said it because anything I say here comes to pass. And I said during a broadcast that I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes, even if it means sacrificing my father and my mother. Did I not sacrifice them? Who killed them? The same people calling today telling me about police station in Anambra. But you killed my father and my mother. Did you not? And do you know how much I love and respect my father? You have no idea. And for you to take my father from me, I will destroy Nigeria. God is my witness. I will destroy Nigeria to the ground. You don't know me. When we were starting, I prayed to God Almighty in heaven. I was in Jerusalem. And I said, I cannot see anything around me. Do you know what God said to me? He said the time hasn't come. When the time comes, I will send people to you. And the whole world will shake. In the end, mankind will bow. You will go to this war with nothing. But I will prove to you that I'm God. After this, Biafra will worship God forever and ever. You are concerned about a police station. But you're not concerned about your people. 1,300 and counting. Dead at war. Shot and killed by the same police. Why won't every police station in Anambra State go down? They will be destroyed, I swear to God in heaven. And men will die, I know that for sure. This revolution must succeed, or we all die. If we don't kill you in the zoo, you come abroad, we kill you. You're talking nonsense. Has any of you paid any condolence visit to the families? Is there any monument in Anambra State? I'm asking you, for those you killed at Mpo, any monument? I ask of you. There is none. Now you understand why these youths are angry. You killed their cousins at Mpo. You killed their brothers and you killed their sisters. And you want them to forgive you. You gossip all you like. And the Patagata, come to the ground, you see what will happen to you. Give us Biafra because we are mad. I'm telling you the truth. If you don't give us Biafra, everybody will go down. When we start our own, Boko Haram will be forgotten. When IPOB came, now there's something called Masop. They are gone. When we start our madness, you see Boko Haram, it will be a child's play. If you know how serious we are, simply give us Biafra and you get away. Go and meet your Alhaji lover. Who will fought away and go with Sandiara. Go there and do it. For God Almighty in heaven said that Biafra is his own. That is why we have a place called Arochukwu. And the temple of God will be built that man will marvel. We are going to build with gold and with silver, with white and black marble from Ebonyi State. We are going to build a temple to God that even God himself will be proud of. That is the word of the ancients. That is the meaning of the name of the place. Arochukwu. God in heaven. There is no other place on this earth that God is pronounced as the name of a land. Nowhere else on this world, never, apart from the state of Israel, which means the Prince of God. For your information, this is the rich history you want me to throw away. No soon enough photo inside the zoo. One Nigeria, one Nigeria. You don't know who you are. You don't know how precious you are. You have no idea. And that is why God is angry with us. That is why God is punishing us. That was why God placed us under the feet of cattle rearers, uncircumcised idiots from the desert. You are concerned about a stupid police station. Is it not the same police station we've been complaining about for years? The same police station where they extort money from people. Is now, am I telling lies? We are removing an obstacle. We know now, today, this evening, that the zoo is asking for the Ghanaian army to come and help them. Let them come. We all die there. I want our people to develop the mentality of Afghanistanis, Afghan people. Go and study their history tonight. Go and study it. We are in for the long haul. Instead of Biafra not to come, they will kill all of us. They think if they kill some, you know, they're used to it. If you kill some people, somehow they run away. You killed my father and my mother. You killed my cousin. You killed 28 of my men. Are we not still doing Biafra? If my mother and my father can be in the grave today, and we are still doing Biafra, that tells you how determined we are. Who else are you going to kill to make us stop doing Biafra? Who else are you going to kill? I'm asking you. I will find the family of Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. All of you are going to die. All of you will perish. All of you will die. You people are about to see the unveiling of the wrath of God on all of you. You want to bring Fulani into my land, into the blessed land of Biafra that God protected for over 5,000 years. You want to come there to build colony, Fulani settlement. Oh dear. Lord have mercy. We are alive and we are direct. Only God can bear us witness, not man. You don't know what we have been through. Why, ask yourself, why are they looking for Biafra? Do you know why we want Biafra? It is because it is the promise of God. When they asked David Ben-Gurion at the UN, why do you want Israel? He raised a copy of the Bible and he said it is the promise from God. Go and read it. Even Islamic clerics in the Arab world acknowledged that even the Quran said that that land belongs to Israel. God gave it to Israel. The same way that our land is sacred and very holy, and we are going to return it to that holiness. A place where life is sacred. Not having Janjaweed idiots as DPO, as commissioner, desecrating our land, killing our people, harvesting their organs and sending them to India. What did you say? When all those mothers were crying and saying, SARS has killed my child, oh, police have... What did you do as an Abuja-based rent boy? Male harlots, you know, who work in Abuja. Now you want to speak English. Prefer, we are everywhere. Jews were all over the world. There is nowhere you go on this earth you will not see a Jewish man. The same thing with Igbo man. So because Jews are all over the world, the state of Israel should not be founded because there is a Jewish man somewhere in Pakistan that has a shop. Because of that, the Israel cannot exist. Is that what you think? So because you have a shop somewhere in Uguzo, because of that, Biafra would not come. Anything we do, oh, we're everywhere, there'll be genocide. You know, when they killed you in 1966, after the war in 1970, what did you do? If you had done the same thing that Rwandese did, the Tutsis, the world would have heard about it. But some of you, after the war ended, they gave you white 404, Obiaja. You forgot your responsibility to your people. You did not even have the courage, the presence of mind, nor the temerity to mourn those that died in the genocide that Fulani brought upon us. You were too cowardly. You were too greedy. All you wanted was money and fame. That's why you think I'm like you. If you ask, say, oh, you want money? Oh, no, leave him the kind. He wants fame and he wants money. And I keep asking them, the same thing they gave you after the war, and you betrayed your people. You betrayed your people. Ohaneze, you were formed in 1976. From 1976 to 2020, how many years in between? Please tell me. Have you built one single memorial to remember those that died? No. But IPOB did it. And that insane hotelier destroyed it. And I know why. And God in heaven told me why our senator Finemugu was destroyed. Why he used Gideon. That is why I was looking to destroy it. And one day I was lamenting and I was crying. And I was saying, what is this? Don't you want us to remember those that died, that sacrificed their lives for us? That was how we started 30th of May. You know, look, I was there alive. Somebody should please bring out the picture and show them. And since that time, we've been celebrating 30th of May every blessed year to remember those that died. Those of them intellectual in Lagos, intelligentsia in Abuja, Igbo lover in Sabongeri. Why did you not remember the people that died fighting to preserve who you are today? Because you are chasing money and fame. So when we came out to do it, you thought we were like you. The same thing that it was Richard thought when we came. He thought I'll start building, he's building 1-star hotel. He thought I'll start building 5-star hotels. And I said to him that God asked me to do this. I have nothing. I don't wish to have anything. I'm not doing anything with it. I am lucky that I am one of those that recognize why they were born. I wasn't born for anything else. Just this. Nothing else. I have nothing. I have no need for money. I have no car. I don't need it. Do you understand us now? Ohaneze, why did you not build a cenotaph to remember those that died, that they killed? Because the same thing with compensation. If you force the world to acknowledge the genocide in Biafra, the same way today the world acknowledges Darfur, I don't know if they lost up to 50,000 people there, the same way that the world acknowledges Rwanda, the same way the world acknowledges, I think it's Srebrenica in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and also the Armenian genocide in the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. Has Biafran genocide been recognized? But you are busy in Lagos, in Abuja, running around, claiming you're you don't know why our land is not developed. You don't know that it's God that is doing it. Because you people offended the land itself. You say you don't know. You don't love us. You don't have any love for your people. The only love you have is to keep us quiet. Don't say anything, don't say anything. Oh, please, Al-Haji is watching. Don't say anything, don't say anything. Oh, Al-Haji, oh, please, don't be upset. Oh, everything is calm now. The only love you have is to keep us quiet. Don't say anything, don't say anything. Oh, please, Al-Haji is watching. Don't say anything, or don't say anything. Oh, Al-Haji, oh, please, don't be upset. Oh, everything is calm now. And they give you contracts. And you come back and you are a leader. And Elohim said, anything that is pronounced on this platform will come to fruition. And that is what is happening before our eyes today. Ohaneze, why did you not start 30th of May? Why did you have to wait for IPOB to do it? Why? Ohaneze, you never united the whole of Biafra. Why did you allow IPOB to do it? Don't you listen to our co-hosts? People come from everywhere. We were even, thinking maybe our land started only from Ebanke, until our brethren from Igodomigodo rose up and said, no, we are actually the key that opens the key. Ohaneze, did you do it? Pandef, did you do it? I came back from England. I traveled to Abunabale, in Iguacha, to go and meet the traditional ruler, to say we are one people. He looked at me and he said, my son, this was in 1999, my son, why are your fathers not here? Why you? He said to me, go and bring your fathers. When they come, I know you are serious. Myself, personally, you know, that same day, you know, anything I do in life, I have record. That same day, I went to the office of, who is now the leader of MOSOP, the real MOSOP. This one is copycat MOSOP. The real MOSOP, M-O-S-O-P, the Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, at Mite. Mite, that's his name. Ask Mite. Did you see Nnamdi Kanu in 1999 at Niger Street or thereabout in Iguacha in 1999? I was in his office. In 1999, trying to unite our people. 1999. Something that they couldn't have done. And today, the family is complete. The Biafran family is complete. They abandoned Igbo-speaking people in Benue. Igbo people, not Igbo-speaking. Igbo people in Benue. They abandoned Igbo people in Calabar. They abandoned Igbo everywhere. An Hausa man can wake up in the morning and say, hey, come. Hey, come. Nyamri, come. He'll say, Alhaji, Nyamri, sit down. I don't like him, Musteto. I think we discovered oil, Haji. And I think Haji, part of it needs to go to those with oil wells need to go to Niger Delta. He says, Alhaji, is that what you want? Yes, that's what I want. He will say, okay, Alhaji, no problem. And the next day, a family, maybe that is answering Ishua, Haji, the same family, they will come, God, and they will draw a map. The Ishua on the left-hand side is Niger Delta. The Ishua on the right-hand side is Igbo. And Ohaneze was there just looking. And we are being decimated as a people. Destroyed as a people. And they are saying that intellectual in Abuja and in Lagos. They did nothing for us. If you ask them, what have you done for us? Nothing. It was our late eternal leader Ojukwu. When, look at them shouting today, you must suffer genocide. And I said to them, why don't you buy guns and defend yourself? Can't you see what Hausa people were trying to do yesterday night in Obibo? I was don't say anything, no. Hey, please, don't join this protest. Please, my brother Nam, don't join this protest, please. Igbo lives are at stake in Kanu in genocide. Oh dear. And I said to them, and also Biafra is at stake. If I don't do what I'm doing, Biafra is at stake. Why couldn't you idiots do what Ojukwu did? Get guns and send them to the north. Defend yourself. You can't do it, can you? You allow Fulani to intimidate you. I saw one video, they were in their room, jumping, hey, see you, can you see what they're doing? These are people who claim they're Nigerians, so can you see what they're doing? They're destroying cars. They're destroying cars outside. Oh dear. And tomorrow they will replace those cars, and they will still be in that same place that killing them. Why don't you come back to Biafra land and build a home you can be proud of? Biafra will be so strong that if anybody as much as comes very close to your vehicle anywhere in the north, will level that place. That's what Israel does. Israel spent 2,000 years begging, oh, leave us, oh, don't talk, don't do anything, hey, shh, don't talk. Until Hitler killed 6 million of them. You know what they said? Enough is enough. Because if we leave you, you're going to kill us anyway. We might as well fight and die like men. That was the first uprising against the mighty Hitler in Warsaw in Poland, the Warsaw Ghetto. The first shot fired, everybody was falling by the wayside in the Sudetenlands. Hitler's Third Reich army was on the move. Nobody can stop them. They were unstoppable. Everybody was collapsing. Czechoslovakia, everybody was falling. Until one day in Warsaw Ghetto, they said, if we stay here, we're going to die anyway. We might as well all die like men. And they picked up arms, and the resistance against the Third Reich against Hitler began in the Warsaw Ghetto by Jews of Poland. You know the funniest thing? At the end of that war, none of them survived. But do you see how we remember them today? That is called immortality. Immortals they are. Because every flesh will die. Yeah, in Abuja, hey, he's causing trouble. Now the guy will cause genocide. IPOB, what they are doing will cause. You don't know anything. In 1945, when they killed us in the north, was IPOB there? In 1948, when the British massacred our fathers in Enugu coal mines, was IPOB there? When they killed us in 1953, was IPOB there? When Nigel Opera went to Jos in 1957 and they massacred us, was IPOB there? I ask of you. When Mighty started in the north, was IPOB there? When America bombed Afghanistan, the Taliban, because of Osama bin Laden, and they killed you in Kano, I was there myself, was IPOB there? You see how hypocritical you Efulefus are, how foolish you are. You are not intelligent. You don't even know history. You know nothing about where you come from. That is why you are an Efulef. And you're writing, hey, stop it, oh, there's genocide. You people think because you have access to newspaper editors, you can write whatever garbage you like and they will publish for you for 4,650 naira. I think I said yesterday that was the price. 4,000, I think this is the last price. 4,650 naira. And they publish whatever junk you have. I think the last price is 4,000. They will start and you start from 10,000. You start negotiating on the publish this for me, please. I want Al-Haji to say it before he gets upset. That I'm not saying anything. But when they killed your brothers at Mpo, you said nothing. Now you understand why we are angry, don't you? Now you understand why we are enraged. I said to them, the day that I come, I will come with hell. They didn't believe me. The only one of the things I will be eternally grateful to God for is that Nigerian youth, they now have brain, they can now reason. I have seen many clips. I saw one fiery Yoruba lady on fire, saying you want to bring ethnicity into this. Was it Igbo people at Tollgate who were shooting the guns? Was it Igbo people that took away the CCTV cameras? But those yapping and gossiping are all intellectuals, which means they use their gumption, they use their brain to think. But their brain never told them that it was Tinubu's people that took away the CCTV camera. It was them that switched off the light. It was the governor of Lagos State that announced the curfew. And that place is satanic. All these people that call themselves elders, they are satanic. They forgot those that died, though. Forgot them all. Forgot them. They were more concerned about a hotel. God forbid the evil in these people. You are concerned more about a hotel than the lives of young people you just wasted. That means that your life is worthless to them. They don't give a damn. And now, since our lives don't mean anything, your own life will not mean anything to us. You people are evil. Mad people everywhere. We must finish what we started. There is no, instead of this thing to stop, let there be no living soul in our land. It can never stop. Unless the youth of Nigeria rise up and give them this message, we are going to fight to the last man. They won't understand it. The guerrilla war will start very soon. The guerrilla war will start very soon. Instead of them to come to negotiate to say, oh, what do we do? They know I don't need anything from them. Go and take care of those that you killed. Take care of their families. Compensate them adequately. Instead of them to come, they say, don't take us for granted. Curfew. We are going to introduce the army. Bring the this, bring the this. I want to remind Fulani of something. In times gone by, you tried to invade my land. You tried to come, you've tried it before, and you failed. It was the British that let you in through the back door. That war you've been craving, that thing that you want so desperately, we are going to give it to you. Be rest assured, we'll give it to you. At the end of the process, your children abroad will be killed. I'm telling you the truth. Your children abroad will be massacred on the streets in broad daylight. It is only prison sentence. You people, you don't know what you're in for. You idiots, you have no one. They said they had meeting. That meeting, it was agreed that the separatists for once, we are no longer secessionists, which means they listen to the lectures coming out from this blessed platform. Because we proved it to them. You cannot secede from something that you're older than. They were listening. They went back. You know, this fool, sometimes the reason, they thought, maybe they're right. Oh, how can a grandfather secede from a grandchild? Is that possible? The man that owns the house and everything, you grew up in my house, and now you want me, you're saying I'm seceding from you. Today, we have been upgraded to separatists. Go and look at their statement. I'll read it for you in a short while. I wanted to make reference to a girl. Her name is Adeola Fayem. She used to work for Saudi Reporters. She's a funny girl. She makes funny moves and all the rest of it. Somebody sent me something and said she posted the speech that left us all speechless. Now she knows that Buhari is dead. Now she knows that this is not Buhari. But when I was telling her that this is no, it's this. They flipped it. That time the cash was rolling. They were sponsoring them. Last night she's now saying the speech that left, it left you speechless because I know that Buhari is dead long time ago. Now you know. And some people do not like the fact that we are always right. They don't like it. You know, when it comes to jealousy, an Igbo man is number one in the world, and he comes with fire and brimstone to destruction. The people are envious and their own jealousy. You cannot wait. I'm telling you. Why should it be IPOB? Why should it be Nnamdi Kanu all the time? Everything. Why? Because they would have loved it to be their own child. You see? That's how they roll. Also, course, one be Jidana Abuja and Lagos. Writing crap every blessed day. As if your junk on a Zoom newspaper can move us. Is that what you think? That by sitting in Abuja and typing garbage, somehow we are moved, we are scared. Oh, don't tell him more. Igbo leaders, don't tell him more. Eastern leaders, tell him more. As if Of course, Buhari. Who doesn't know Buhari is there? I even have a clip here from somebody saying that I said, we told you. The day the idiot gave a speech prior to them invading my house. Oh, dear me. We cannot forget him. He made a speech. I told him this is not Buhari. Because I know when the idiot died. I know the exact date and time the bastard died. And I asked the Nigerian journalists, they said, it's not possible. Britain is there. How can they allow it? But it is Britain who is orchestrating it. I told you before that they don't give a damn about you until Lekki happened. Everybody started screaming. I had to hold meetings with our people on Capitol Hill before statements started coming from there. Do you want to see my letter to the US president? It was published in the US yesterday. It's there. If you type in Nnamdi Kanu on Google, you will see it. All of you. You see the way we are reminding you of those you have killed now from 1960. God is my witness. All of you shooting on the streets, or those that sent you, there will be no forgiveness. That thing you want, hey, you are going to get. Now think, if people can see soldiers and they're still coming with bare hands, imagine when the order is given, sacrifice your life and take many of theirs, what will happen? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Let me ask you idiots that call yourself elders and all these fools gathered doing your video call. Do you outnumber us? Are you more in number than us? Do you think we don't? Anyway, let me not go too far. Let me not go too far. I love what Burna Boy said. You know why I love artists? Because they think. The reason why I love musicians, artists, actors, and all that is because they reason. Burna Boy said, if this revolution fails, then it is over for Nigerian Jews forever and ever. He's a musician. Do you understand it? Are they going to kill us? Yes. Are we going to kill them and their children? Yes. And who's going to win? We are going to win this. God is my witness. This battle is already won. I'm telling you the truth. Sacrifice. We are going to make it all. Now tomorrow they'll say, Nnamdi Kanu is somewhere. His family is safe. When I was in Kuje, where were you? A simple question. When I went to Ekulobia and there was no road, where were you? I went to Aba and there was no vehicle in Aba for 24 hours. Where were you? The South River State is south, southwest to south, and other rubbish. Nonsense. I went to Iguacha, there was no traffic for 8 hours. Everywhere was locked down. Ask me, I will tell you. They said what was going on. They said Nnamdi Kanu is in town. Everywhere was closed down in Iguacha, that you call Port Harcourt. There was no movement. Now you understand? We have already won this battle, but there is no room for complacency. We are going to keep marching until we prevail. And the more they resist us, the more you send army and the more you send the police, the more you're putting the lives of your children in danger. And in the coming days, we are going to set an example with one of you. So you understand how painful it is to bury a child, because you don't know. You see Nigeria? The history of Nigeria will need to be written. Oh dear. You know, children will be going to school in the next 50 years. They'll be saying, Daddy, if you behave badly, what happened in Nigeria will happen here. That's what they'll be saying in Black Africa. They have no idea who we are. We have come to die. Heaven is my witness. We have come to die for what we believe in. And then you will know what destruction is all about. I want every police station destroyed in Biafra land and elsewhere. If you feel aggrieved, do you know why we need to destroy them? So that when they rebuild, if at all they will, when they rebuild them, before you go out instead of checkpoint to start taking money from people, you will think twice. Now, this station was burnt before. I don't want it again. Now you understand why we are burning them. Not that we hate anybody. For now, the real hatred is coming. And when you see it, you will wonder what God made these people. And men are coming out on Monday. My goodness. If they have any brain in their skull, all they need to do is to do what Democrats do all over the world. If you're a Democrat, this is what you do. You believe in republicanism and democracy. That's what you do. You say, how do we solve this problem? Then we tell you how to solve it. Because this generation is not like the past one, or you call one baboon like that, looking to fix his broken Alumaco window. But fortunately he was called. He said, we belong to civil society. Whatever garbage that means. Rubbish in Wokoko. Civil society. No. You give them, maybe you give them, you show them, no, they are 20, you throw 5 million naira at them, and they start scrambling it, and they come on TV, maybe Wazobi, I'm talking rubbish. Hey, let's end the fracas, it's over now, can't you see? Oh dear. We give you conditions in the open. We give you conditions in the open. We don't need anything from you. You are dealing with the largest mass movement on the face of the earth. There is nothing we cannot do. We are IPOB. When rain is falling, we can ask the rain to stop and it will stop. Don't you know that? BBC came to my house to interview me. And everywhere was rocking. Okay, Zibazu fled then. Complained between Baribe, the only honorable senator there is. That we are threatening him. I said, no, I am in my father's compound. I am in Isiama Faruku. We were here before government house was built. Where they have the secretary to the government, it used to be a classroom where I used to study. Library Avenue Primary School. Do you understand it now? Everyone was rocking. And my cousin came to me and said, oh, Daddy, it's raining outside. It's raining. It's raining. And people are soaked outside. I went inside on my knees and I called Mbokwe. I said, show me the sign that you are God. As soon as I came outside, everybody was screaming and I said what it is. They said the rain has stopped and there is a rainbow. And I said, what else can you see? They said the rainbow circled the sun, and beside this very circle, there is also a star. And that day I said to them that Biafra will come in our time. There will be sacrifices, but Biafra will come. Now you understand who we are, don't you? I went to with something. The traditional prime minister of Owerri received me in the ancient way that our forefathers did it. He held up a chicken, a cooker, used it to circle it around my head. On our go for is a prayer. Circling this live chicken all over me, on my feet, everywhere. And I went in front of Douglas House and IPOB, Chineke and Kebuniga, this family, oh my God, the greatest family on the, oh, Chineke and Kibwe, this family. Do you know the reason why we keep going every day? Because of IPOB and the sacrifice they have made. And we are not going back. Every police station in Anambra State will come down. Go and rebuild it. So next time you will not kill other people's children. Now you know why we are doing it. And Calabar is rocking. Calabar is rocking. People are woken up. And Mechi said, you know, so we pursue all of you. They had a video conference. They gathered together. They were saying something about secessionists. Go back home. You need to do something. We are going to do something. The same garbage every blessed day. They said they are smart, that they're criminals and arch-looters. Arch-looters and deceivers. Now, you all know that Buhari is dead, yes? Who else is in doubt? Recorded video after recorded video after recorded video. And I asked you, show me where Obasanjo did recorded video. Go and show me now, Jonathan. Show me one recorded video from Obasanjo. Go and show me now. Mad people everywhere, and you see people who cannot reason, claiming they're intellectuals. Go and gossip all you like. The more you gossip, the more popular we become. That's why I love gossip. That is why I love gossipers. I love them. They know how to promote you, I'm telling you. Let me tell you what they are saying in Abuja. Inside the house of Rock, the house of Lucifer, who will quench you. How End SARS protest was hijacked, misdirected. President Buhari tells former heads of state. Where did he tell them? Via a video conference call. Zoological Republic. It is unfortunate that the initial genuine, well-intended protest of youths in parts of the country against SARS was hijacked. They are talking about, of course, who is IPOB. They are talking about who else is always IPOB. If somebody has a miscarriage somewhere in Brenin Kebbi, they say it's IPOB. If your necklace is missing, necklace is missing, they say it's IPOB. Oh, who took your girlfriend from you? It's IPOB. Always IPOB. Why is the road bad from Enugu to Onitsha? It's IPOB protest. God. Hey, Zoo. Zoo. Now people are even angry with me, telling me the name is not Zoo, it's a jungle. I want to sip some water. Can you hear me? The devil must be shamed. They think if the gossip we give up. Wait, I know how to buy a goosey. I know how to shell a goosey. A goosey. I know how to shell. Oh, yes, I'm a goosey. They are useless intellectual, my foot. Okoko, you are an intellectual in another man's land. Begging them to give you a job. You are an intellectual. In a virtual meeting, always everything is virtual, nothing real. Virtual, you know the game you play, computer game, is virtual reality. That's what it's called. Nothing is ever real in the zoo. Everything is virtual. They go sit back, they construct their 12 minutes. Every 4 months you get 12 minutes video, and you're telling me you have brain in your skull. You're telling me that God created you a human being. Every 4 months, 12 minutes video. Every 4 months, 12 minutes video. Our government will do trader money. Our government will do e-money. Our government will do Zoological Republic. I told you you will fall. Was it in 2014? We said the zoo must fall. They thought we were joking. Very soon. We are giving them only 2 more weeks. Then they now see what is proper madness. That time they will bring in Janjaweed soldiers from the Sahel, and then we slaughter them. And then one idiot in Kano will say, oh, but we are here, and my shop is here, you're threatening me. Because you are in the north, you are placing the whole of Biafra land in danger. At the meeting, we are all living past leaders, including General Gowon, President Obasanjo, General Badamasi Babangida, Chief Ernest Shonekon, that stole Abiola's mandate, a thief, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, and Jonathan. And these are past leaders. And I kept asking myself, past leaders. Under General Gowon, there was no electricity. Over 50 years ago. 50 years. Under President Olusegun Obasanjo in 1976, no electricity. General Babangida came, no electricity, no running water. Chief Ernest Shonekon stole Abiola's mandate, no electricity. Abdul Salami Abubakar wrote the Fulani Constitution of Nigeria of 1999, no electricity. And good luck, Jonathan. Obasanjo came again, no, still no electricity. And Jonathan came, no electricity. And the monster himself came, Buhari, and died in office. No electricity. One Nigeria indeed. So being in one Nigeria means I will know, not in my lifetime will I know 24 hours of electricity. Being in Nigeria means not in my lifetime will graduates have jobs. Being in Nigeria means not in my lifetime will I open the tap and have proper, what is called potable water. Never. Being in one Nigeria means I will always have to go through checkpoints and have to bribe the police to survive. Is that the type of country you wish to belong to? A very simple question, which some of you cannot answer. But you're an intellectual. After rambling on and talking nonsense, justice for this, justice, the same old garbage, the same old rubbish. After threatening, look at Fulani, you think they use your threat. After threatening, you think it can work? It may have worked in the Middle Belt to subdue people in Southern Kaduna. We are Biafrans, it's not going to work. It can never work. Ask the British, ask your order, ask about Britain who we are, and they will tell you. Biafrans, Kikuyu people, Igbo land, they fought. If you don't know, and the Irish, ask the British and they will tell you. You want to use your stupid terrorism to blackmail us into submission, you're joking. Now, Obasanjo summarized for all of them when they said, where is it again? The former heads of state, listen, the former heads of state also condemned. Listen carefully. It was only Ahmed that told them to put this here. It's Ohaneze that told them to add this very paragraph. The former heads of state also condemned the divisive, inciting pronouncements of separatists. They didn't want to say IPOB. They said it is inciting and divisive pronouncements. They didn't want to say propaganda either. By separatists. We have now graduated from secessionists to separatists, which adequately describes who we are. We want to separate from a demonic British concoction. And in that concoction, Fulani wants to kill everybody. We saying no. And we're saying no. We are separating. And they claim to know the Bible and the Quran. Most of the major stories in the Old Testament, Prophet Muhammad copied into the Quran. Every religion in this very world, I believe, organized religion came from the Abrahamic faith, of course, which is Judaism. Abraham, loved by God, gave him everything. Abraham had, I think it was a nephew. Please, if I'm wrong, you correct me. Abraham had a nephew. His nephew's name was Lot. And they were living together. And God blessed Abraham richly. And God also blessed Lot. Abraham, loved by God, listen very carefully. The same blood, the same family. One day they were so rich that there was a bit of altercation between their shepherds and when they went out to put the sheep to pasture for them to try and feed the sheep or the flock, so to speak. And Abraham called Lot early in the morning and said, "My dear brother, you are the son. Is it son of my sister or son of my brother? I love you very much. We are the same blood, but we can no longer be together. Can't you see that your shepherds, your handlers are quarreling with mine? God bless you. You have abundance of, beasts of the field, and God also blessed me. So instead of us to be fighting or to spoil this relationship, this family, please, we have this land here. Please, I've divided into two. Take one, let me take one. You first, take one. That there may be peace in the family. And I also want to bring to your attention how we are in Biafra land. The world don't know this, but I will tell them tonight. The reason why we are Republicans and autonomous, by instinct. In your father's compound, you have the first son, you have the second son, you have the third, you have the fourth, because the girls, they're expected to get married and go out and develop their own families. The first son usually inherits the father's compound. The rest of them will have to move out. And when they move out, they may take the family name with them. Let's say the family name is Abara, for instance. When the second son moves to another place and gives birth to or spawns some generations, they will now answer Omo, Abara, referencing where they come from. Is that very clear? But the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth son, you must leave your father's compound for the first son and go elsewhere. So for us, being on our own and being autonomous is our essence. Nigeria cannot kill it. It is who we are. We want to be free. We want to be alone. Leave us alone. Now you understand. We have now graduated from secessionists to separatists, because they too listen to this very gospel from heaven. If I'm lying, come out and tell me not to allow your stupid, of course want it to be leading you. You cannot be Nnamdi Kanu, for goodness sake. You can never be. Not in a trillion years you cannot be. You can never ever be. You can do your envy from now till the kingdom come. Your jealousy, go and expand it so it can fill a Dangote warehouse. It is not of our business. If you don't know, you're a fool. One day, that idiot running his mouth somewhere. They're hiding him somewhere. We're going to find him. He was running his mouth. And the day they took him to say, you are now going to be deported, he was just rambling. He didn't know he was dealing with the biggest family in the world. Anything we want to do to you, we do it to you. If we want you dead, you die. We want you to live, you live. That is how powerful we are. If you don't know. I feel you on now. I feel you on Mokoko. Chukwokikabiama is on the throne. And we worship him. I will now try to take just a few calls. They say Calabar is, Calabar is rocking. If you're not angry now, when do you intend to become angry? They have close ranks. As our brother said, the doctor said, these are all war holes. They have close ranks. They have called all their friends everywhere. To help us keep Nigeria one, we want to keep enjoying that oil dollar. But they have failed. They have failed. We have nobody but thee. You know how David destroyed Goliath? Goliath came with body armor, came with everything, came with janjaweed everywhere. They were hailing him. He had everything with him. And David said, this armor you've given me is too heavy. He threw it away. The helmet is too much, everything. He even took off his sandals, knows nothing. He said, as God, Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai, delivered all those lions that came to eat my father's sheep into my hands. Do you know that David referred to Goliath as a beast? That is not human. And God said, kill this animal. And David destroyed him. We are going to do something to the corrupt entity called Nigeria that by this time, in the next 1,000 years, they will be talking about IPOB. I promise you that. You see CNN, they are going to cover also. They will be begging for interview. Because the zoo is gone. Any country that kills its children with impunity, there is no remorse. They do not deserve to survive. Especially one that is heterogeneous, like the zoo is. If it's a homogeneous country, I can understand that. The zoo must fall. The zoo must fall. And it has fallen. I want to play something for you that somebody sent to me right now. I do not know the woman's name. I do not know if it's a man or a woman. I have not listened to it. I want to play it for the world to hear. That the God we call upon, my name is Nnamdi, which means my Redeemer liveth. My grandmother named me Ngozi Chukwu Ngozi Chineke. I don't want to answer it because I thought it was like a woman's name. It was called Ngozi. You know how they behave. From one place to the another. Chewing gum and sweet. I won't go any further. For those who are as old as we are, you know what it means. Chewing gum and sweet, what it does to women on Anthony's bed. You know how we used to say it when we were small. And we felt that it was those named Ngozi that chewing gum and sweet can, I don't want to go further. I want to play this very clip for you so you understand it, what we are talking about. That you may know. Calabar is rocking. Isidore Ike said he wants to report what is happening there and he will in a short while. I want to play this. Hey, chewing-gum, sweet, all I wrapped on my bow, my bed, Anthony. And it's always those named Ngozi, women or not men, that fall into that trap of chewing gum and biscuit in those days. If you add Fanta on top of it, George Abasa. Let the people, the zoo is rocking. The Zoological Republic is rocking. I don't know, it is that idiot. I don't know, it is that idiot. Let Chukwuka Kabiama be blessed. I want to open the lines, please. Allow those from Calabar to call, I beg of you. If you're not in Calabar, do not call. I know they will call anyway, but we want those in Calabar to call, or you send us a voice note. You send us a voice note. You send us a voice note, please. Just a voice note. The caller on the line, can you hear me? I would highly recommend that you reduce the volume of whatever device you are using to listen to us this very evening, if you may. Your name and where you are, the world is listening.
Yeah, good evening, my dear brother. Keiko Siada.
Chukwuka Kabiama is bearing us witness. Speak English to me, please, and your name and where you are, if you may.
Okay. I am Mr. Akachuku from Imo State, Mbitolu precise. I want to congratulate Mr. Nnamdi Kanu for his indigenous work.
Biafra is not here, do not congratulate me. And if you want to congratulate anybody, congratulate IPOB worldwide. The most formidable family that God ever made. The light of the world of Africa indeed. A noble family. IPOB worldwide. Worldwide. If you doubt me, you are an IPOB member, you're traveling to a country where you don't know anybody, just ask for a national coordinator and somebody will be at the airport to receive you. Under one command. Only one singular command. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you. Mazi, good evening. This is Donald Chukwuka, Lieutenant Donald Chukwuka from the United States Navy.
You're from the United States Navy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to the program and the world is listening. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. If you can hear me, I have something to say to
Yes.
First of all, I do want to commend you for what you're doing, a great job of leading the people of Igbo land. Okay?
Thank you.
What I want to say, we got to continue to fight. There's no, in the history of humankind, no people has ever asked for their freedom and it was given to them for free.
It's true.
If we need freedom, we got to fight for it. Now,
yes.
The truth of the matter is that we're going to lose people. People will die. Now, think about it. Now, whether we fight or we don't fight, people will die. Okay? Now, for me, my perspective, what would I say? I will be at the forefront. Okay? Now, our fathers have made the mistake of not fighting for our freedom, which I know Ojukwu did. But after that, our fathers kind of just relax and let this people just rule us and do whatever they want to do. Now it's time for us to fight for our children. So we can either stay there and let these people rule us, but we don't have no hospital, we don't have no Medicare. The last time I came to Nigeria was 5 years ago, and I went to the hospital. It was a joke. So I think what I want to say to our people is continue to fight. Don't back down. No matter what they do, they're going to try to oppress you. Let's not back down. My friend Donald Chukwuka from the United States Navy, VP5, stationed in Florida. Once again, I want to say thank you, sir. Thank you for what you're doing, and congratulations to IPOB. I'm going to look for I just found this YouTube channel today. I'm going to look for our nearest association, and I'll put my name down. And from time to time, you guys will hear from me. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thank you very much. Our dear brother, he is in the United States military and he is serving currently. And when things hot up, many of them are coming. The Zulu, you are going to fight an elite force, not this Janjaweed from the Sahel. Our people will decamp from every military they are serving in the Western world, and they will come back home. And once they misbehave, the zoo, which we know they are going to, Fulani, let me tell you this. The God we all worship, Chukwuka Kabiama, God, Allah, that we praise and worship, by his name I swear to you, if you bring war to us, No amount of United Nations intervention will stop us. That war will continue for 1,000 years. Everybody who will come to lead Biafra will be under oath to sustain that war. Do you know how the war of Carthage was fought? Do you know the reason why Hannibal never made any peace treaty with Rome? Because the father called him on his deathbed and made Hannibal to swear an oath never to enter into any peace treaty with Rome. Do you understand? And of course, his brother betrayed him by failing to give him supplies when he needed it, or reinforcement, so to speak. Everybody who will come to serve Biafra in the capacity of a prime minister, because we're not going to have this stupid presidential garbage, you are going to take an oath, a blood oath, that you will fight the Fulani for the rest of your life. Our army will be on alert and fighting every blessed day for 1,000 years, until there is no Fulani in Gobert, which is present-day Sokoto. Our fathers were meek and mild. Their children are insane. We are mad. I'm telling you the truth. We are insane. And Biafra is going to come.